Okay, thanks. Welcome, everybody. So I'll just introduce myself. My name's Anna Marie Gilman. I'm the Curriculum Manager for the Counselling Department. Been teaching for York Learning since 2016. I've been the manager of the department since 2018. Mainly teach on level 4 these days, but I've certainly, taught across all the levels. I like to do these information sessions, one, because, then I can be really confident and certain on the information that's been passed on to you. But two, because if you do join us in January and beyond, I like to be more than just a name that you get an email from now and then. So, it feels really important that you can at least put a face to a name, and know who I am as I perhaps start to send emails out and ask you for certain things. Okay, so, and as I say, at the very end, once I've gone through the information, if anybody's got any questions, I'm happy to take them depending on how much time we've got, but I certainly won't keep you beyond 8:30. Okay. All right. Just checking. Can everybody see that?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you. Okay, so I understand that you're here this evening because you are wanting to know about the level 2 that's starting in January. And I'll also touch a little bit on the progression routes and the other courses that we offer here at York Learning and explain a little bit about why. But ultimately, the level 2, which is the focus of tonight's information session, is designed to give you that really important underpinning knowledge, skills and competencies to support you to use counselling skills in a wide context, if I may. So at level 2, we refer to ourselves as the helper, or the listener, and the person that we're listening to is the helpee or the speaker. It's at level 3 and beyond where we start to focus more on counselling as a specific role. So this level 2 qualification is generic and very much focused on the helping profession. It's certainly that precursor to level 3 and beyond as well. So for that reason, it's for people wanting to start on that first rung of the ladder of professional counselling training. So if that's you, then great, this is the place to start. It's also for people who want to fine-tune their counselling skills, so perhaps aren't intending to perhaps go all the way in the training and pursue counselling, but are really interested in or already in the role of a mentor, an advocate, a support worker. So it's a really good course to support you to fine-tune those skills. And then the other reason why people tend to start the level 2 is because they want to undergo some personal development work. So this course certainly supports you to increase your self-awareness and do some personal development as well along the way. And that's not to be underestimated, actually, the level of personal development and self-awareness that comes as a result of completing this course. It will, I'm going to say this with confidence, it will increase your employability. I get feedback a lot from people that apply for promotions or apply for new roles within the helping sector and say very much the content and what they've covered at level 2 really supports them. And they are, quite successful in securing those promotions and those roles. So yes, with confidence, it will certainly support your employability. And as I just said before, it is the prerequisite to level 3. So if you've not done any counselling related training before, then this is an essential course for anybody that's maybe wanting to progress into those higher levels. Because we are an adult education provider, quite a lot of the courses, not necessarily these ones, but a lot of our courses are funded through the government, through the Skills Network Agency. We're very much, we have a brief of supporting those transferable skills in what we do as well. I I think for me, when I think about the transferable skills that employers are looking for, those are the ones on the slide now, which I think the level 2 counselling skills course really lends to. All of them. And then for anybody that was wondering how that might be done, these are some of the ways in which you'll be supported to develop those transferable skills. I think some of them are quite self-explanatory. You're going to be working in small groups. There's going to be lots of discussion on this course and that kind of thing. I think the one that I probably want to draw your attention to maybe the most at this stage is number 7, that resilience and building your resilience muscle. Maybe the reason why I'm wanting to draw your attention to that so much is because it's so important in counselling training. And working as a professional helper or a professional counsellor to really be able to have that resilience, give and receive feedback, learn and grow, and not sit in a place of feeling that you've done it wrong if you perhaps make a mistake. So that's a big part of training with us, is being willing and open to learning and accepting that there's lots to learn and lots of ways in which to grow. Okay, so that's how come I'm drawing your attention to that one. You may have seen this if you've visited the CPCAB website, but if you've not, this is the range of courses. They're just kind of laid out in a set of building blocks. At the very bottom, you've got some introductory courses, but here at York Learning, we offer the level 2, the level 3 and the level 4. And the level 2 is this first rung on this progression ladder. It's level 4 where you achieve full qualified counsellor status. So for anybody that kind of wants to do the maths, if you were successful at each level, and we're in a position to progress to each level one after the other, then you're 4 years away from achieving qualified counsellor status, if that's something that you were wanting to particularly pursue. Okay. I think I'd like to draw your attention to that because there are some providers out there that maybe only offer the level 2 or offer the level 2 and level 3, and then you're having to look elsewhere if you did want to go all the way with that level 4. So that might just support anybody that's perhaps thinking about us and maybe an alternative provider, that if you like us and we feel you're ready and able to progress to that next level, then you can go right through to the end of that level 4 with us. Right, I'm just going to take a moment to pause and just give you a moment to just read this slide. This one's directly from CPCAB. Okay, so I guess this is the point where I stress that we choose to teach adults, myself and my tutors, and we love teaching adults because you can bring your own experience to the learning space, your own professional experience and your own personal experience, and that's great. It's just that like note of care, really, to just be aware that, you know, even the level 2 certainly does require that contribution of self and, you know, sharing aspects of yourself as a person. And it's just, you know, a moment to think about, is this the right time for me? Have I got enough emotional capacity? Have I got enough support around me that I feel that I'm able to complete this course successfully? I'm stressing that as well because we tend to end up with a waiting list for these courses. So there'll be people that we say no to. So I guess it's that, you know, if you do apply and you are given a place on the course, we'd really, you know, like any provider, I guess, want you to stay with us and complete the full course. If not, then, you know, your place perhaps could have been given to somebody else. So we don't have a crystal ball and things can happen. But if you can, just take a moment to think about that and does this feel like the right time for you? Have you got all your ducks in a row where you can give this course what it might need? And if I just add a little bit of context to that so you kind of know what I'm talking about. At level 2, you'll start the session with a check-in and you'll end the session with a check-out. And that's certainly, the onus is on you to share how you're feeling as you start the session and how you're feeling as the end the session. And everybody is expected to take part in check-in and check-out. There'll be lots of group discussion with this level 2, small group and whole group discussion. And again, the learning really comes to life when everybody's able to contribute. We, of course, ask you or expect you to ask questions, but we also really enjoy you sharing your insights and your experiences. So again, that's something to think about. Giving and receiving of feedback is very important on the level 2. You will be required to give constructive feedback to others, and you'll also be required to receive constructive feedback as well. That's the only way in which you're going to develop and grow. There's journaling required at level 2. That's all the way through levels in counselling training. So there'll be some personal journaling where you'll be evidencing that you can reflect on yourself and how you are in the world. We're going to ask you to manage your workload and the submission deadlines and really stay in adult, communicate with your tutor and your peers from an adult place and not hide. So really have that confidence to step forward and ask for what you need, but also be able to take responsibility for your own learning as well. And that's just kind of our ethos. That's how we work here in the counselling department. I think just to add to that before we move on is this idea of professional standards. Of course, there are certain professional standards in the professional helping role and the professional counselling role, and I think what we ask of our learners reflects those professional standards of out there in the sector. And again, you'll learn much more about that as you go. So you may already know this, depending on how much you've communicated with Jo. But depending on interest and people enrolling, we do intend to run 2 courses in January. They're both on the Wednesday, and one's Wednesday morning and one is Wednesday evening. So as you can see, the morning is from 9:30 till 1, and the evening is from 5:45 till 9:15. 24 weeks, fully online via Zoom. So you'll learn in this space, in the Zoom space, starting on the 14th of January, going through till the 22nd of July. You will have holidays in line with school holidays. So you'll have February half term, Easter, May half term. They will be holidays in line with other schools. And then you'll finish just about as we go into the school 6 weeks holidays. Okay. Okay. So the cost of the course and how you can pay. All fees for this course include a registration that we have to pay to CPCAB, and they include all the teaching and all the tutorial time as well. So the full fee for this course is £520. You can pay that in one, or you can make an initial payment of £125 and then split the rest in five monthly payments. That's quite explanatory there. There is a reduced fee for this course, and that very much depends on if you are in receipt of certain means tested benefits or have a low income that's below, I think it's 25,000 threshold. So if you are able to evidence that that's your personal situation, then you will be eligible to apply for this course at a reduced fee, and that will then be £125. Just a note for anybody that's outside of the York area. So if you don't have a YO postcode, the cost may be, and I'm really stressing maybe because it's not definite, 936. That's because we won't get any subsidy from the government about offering courses to people in the local area. So you would then be classed as out of area. There is a pot of money to support people that are out of area, only having to pay the 520 like everybody else, but that would need confirming with Joe. If you are outside of the YO area and aren't eligible and end up having to pay the 936, then again, that would be an initial payment of 125, and then you'd be able to pay for the course in 5 monthly payments. And then I'm obliged to say, if that's the case, you may want to look in your own area, so your own locality, to see if there is this course or equivalent that's running, because certainly in your own local area, you more than likely would be able to, get the course at a reduced fee. So you can probably tell I'm less comfortable talking about the cost of the course than the content of it. But of course, it's important that you understand what that might look like for you. Some important information. The 125 registration fee is non-refundable, and that must be paid at enrolment to secure your place. So regardless of, however you're paying for the course, your place won't be secured until you've paid that 125. Joe would like all required documents and any direct debit forms being received within 14 days of you being offered a place. You can't start the course unless you 125 and all paperwork is received. Ultimately, what we're asking for is that confirmed commitment, if you like. If we're giving you a place, which we'll be delighted to do, it's on the understanding that we know you're committed and that you're going to turn up, mindful of that waiting list and those people that we'll have to say no to. Any questions, any queries you have at all about anything that I've just said, please email Jo on the York Learning Counselling email, and she will be very happy to answer any questions that you've got. So what happens on the level 2 is we don't use paper-based portfolios anymore. I don't know if some people, perhaps have had a break in learning, and maybe last time you were in learning, that's what everybody did, built this paper-based portfolio. We don't anymore. Everything that we do now is on Google Classroom. And you build what we call an e-portfolio, an electronic portfolio of evidence on Google Classroom. Each week, your resources will be put on there from the tutor, and it's also where your tasks will be set, and you'll be required to complete the work and upload the tasks to Google Classroom, usually on a weekly basis. If at this stage you're thinking, oh gosh, I really could do with, brushing up my IT skills to feel ready to engage on Zoom, and certainly, to begin to start thinking about using Google Classroom, then please do email our ICT department at York Learning. They will be very happy to hear from you and signpost you to an IT course if that's what you feel that you might benefit from, perhaps before starting the counselling training. So that's the email there, ictskills@york.gov.uk. Following on from that, we do actually, as part of our induction process at all levels, offer two induction sessions. One of them is a Google Classroom familiarisation session, and the other one is a study skills session. So for anybody that is wanting to apply for the course and then will be starting with us, it's really important that you make a note of this date. So it's Wednesday, the 17th of January. So when we come back after Christmas and New Year, the Google Classroom session with Anita will run from 6:30 till 7:30. And then the study skills session with another one of my colleagues, Claire Roper, will run from 8:15 till 9:15. If you've never used Google Classroom before, or it feels like a concept that you don't really understand, and certainly if you've had a break in learning for a while, then I'd strongly advise that you come to both sessions. As and when you are offered a place on the January course, Jo will then facilitate getting you booked onto these sessions. So don't worry about needing any more details than that at this stage. Just make a note of the date, the 17th of January, and the 2 times for now. But we've been offering these induction sessions for about 3 years at the start of each level, and they're certainly very beneficial. People have found them really beneficial. Okay, so again, I don't know if anybody's familiar with this, in particular if you've spoken to Jo. What we're also offering at York Learning is a 5-week introduction taster. Okay, so this is also being advertised at the moment, and we're taking enrolments for it. It's been written purposefully to prepare you for the level 2. So if you are thinking that you'd quite like to just dip your toe in, or if you're thinking, I don't know if I feel ready to commit to a full 6-month accredited course, or if you'd just quite like to get to know some of the concepts and some of the ideas that you're going to be studying at level 2, then you would be very welcome to enroll onto the introduction taster course. Okay, so it's a 5-week course. It's non-accredited, so it genuinely is just a gentle introduction to the counselling training. It's been written specifically to support people to feel ready. Okay, so that is running on a Wednesday evening from 6 till 8 o'clock. So it's a slightly shorter course. It's five weeks at 2 hours. We've purposely offered this course in a blended way. So 2 of the sessions are in person at the Burnholme Centre, and 3 of the sessions are online. So the first one and the last one are in person, and those 3 in the middle are online. Okay. So the cost of that course is £65, or if you are in receipt of means tested benefits, it's £48.75. The link to apply to the course is there at the bottom of that slide. Sorry, bear with me. And Jo has also confirmed that she will be emailing out that link tomorrow, just in case anybody is interested in applying for that course. So yeah, there's quite a few reasons why people engage with that course. It could be that maybe January feels like a long way away, you just want to get started with some learning, or it might be just a nice introduction before you get ready to sign up to the full level 2 course. If you are successful and secure a place on the January course, then this is the essential book. So that's what it looks like. There is at the moment a 30% discount by going through Sage to order this book if you use that code UKCPCAB30. So that's handy for sure. And that's what it looks like. This is an investment because there's 2 parts to this book. Part 1 is for the level 2 and part 2 is for the level 3. So particularly those that are maybe intending to progress to the next level with us, if you're successful at level 2, then this is a bit of an investment because it's the book for both courses. Some desirable personal qualities that we look for in our learners, and ultimately this is so that the learning can be as vibrant as possible. When none of us as tutors want to ask questions and just then it land on silence. We really rely on contribution you contributing and sharing ideas and experiences and that kind of thing. So yeah, there's some of the desirable personal qualities that that we really look for in the classroom space to support the learning. You will be asked to sign a learner agreement just before you start the course. It's basically an agreement to say that you understand about your commitment, which ultimately is about regular weekly attendance, being able to stick to submission deadlines, catching up on work if you miss anything, being able to reach out and ask for support if you require it. So there's some sort of behaviours, let's say, that we ask for you to sign up to, so that we can ensure that our learners are committed, want to be there, want to engage, and want to learn. A big part of the training is that group really forming, and the learning can become affected as if people aren't there week on week. So yeah, that's just something to think about as well, about what's your capacity to meet that weekly commitment. Okay. So that's a bit of a whistle-stop tour through level 2 and a little bit of a mention of level 3, I suppose. So I want to say thank you at this stage. And then if I just go through the last slide, because perhaps this is the most important part for you all, because this is about next steps. So the application stage for this course will open on Thursday. So you've got a couple of days now to think about what I've shared with you, think about your position, where you're at. Is it the right time to pursue the training? So the applications will open on Thursday and then close that week, that very first Monday when we come back after half term, so Monday the 3rd of November. Joe will email you with this PowerPoint and the link to apply. If you think you are eligible for the reduced fee, please ensure that you upload any proof of low income or benefits when you apply. After you've applied, you will then be contacted and told if you have a place on the course or not, and then what the next steps are in regards to enrolling and paying. Places are limited to a maximum of 15 in each class. So we usually have a threshold of between 12 and 15 in a classroom here at York Learning in the counselling department. So we'll certainly not go beyond 15 places in each class. Once you've applied, you may be invited to attend an interview with the course tutor, and that will usually be triggered by making sure that you're applying for the right level and connecting with you to talk to you about any learning needs that you might disclose to us at the point of application. We're all counsellors as well as tutors. The approach will absolutely be from a supportive place, and it's just really important that not only can we gauge that we're able to support any learning needs that you have, but also that you are ready and able to commit to the demands of the counselling training. I guess if anybody understands about levels, the level 2 is equivalent to GCSE level. So it's rewarding, it's fun, there's lots to explore, but there is also a level of work to it. So yeah, that's just something else to think about. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna stop sharing and stop recording. So for the purpose of the recording, I'll say thank you very much for listening. And obviously if you do have any practical questions, then please do email the York Learning Counselling email.